Welcome to Varsity House Podcast. Welcome to Varsity House Podcast. I'm your host, Shaun Crawford. I got one of my longtime friends, family, brother on this episode, Parris Campbell. He's back home in Akron. Just had a youth camp at St. Vincent St. Mary High School. Parris is currently on the Philadelphia Eagles and played at Ohio State for a number of years as well. So I appreciate you coming on the show finally, bro.
I appreciate you for finally having me. I should have been the first episode of the show, but it's all good.
I feel like there was a reason, though, that you weren't the first one, though. Because there was a moment that you told me about, and we're going to get right into it, that I think, because when I started it was 2022. Yeah. I started in 2022. You were with the Colts that year, right?
Yep.
And you told me this yesterday, because it's crazy, because it's like, I've obviously known you for a while, but it's like someone you know close could go through something that don't necessarily, or that they don't share with you, you know what I mean? Right. And so, and I find myself, doing the same thing sometimes always, because it's like, so not necessarily prideful, but I feel like you've always been a person since I've known you that you just gonna go get it, you gonna do it, you gonna handle it, yourself. And so yesterday you told me like that was a hard time for you.
Yeah.
And so I definitely want to dive into that, just because I didn't get a call during that hard time. Mm-hmm. But I understand it.
Yeah.
Because I went through hard times and didn't even reach out to family members. Right. So it's like in that time, explain that hard time too, but also just, some things that helped you get through those times.
Yeah. I think number one, it was one of them things that me personally, I felt like I needed to, like you said, like handle on my own. Like I kind of always been that way.
Even but what happened though?
Well, I battled a number of different injuries while I was with the Colts. But that year specifically is when I tore my MCL, PCL, and like I had never had like a super serious injury until that time. And so like going through surgery and then like obviously rehab, like all that stuff, like like it's just a hard thing to go through, like mentally, physically, emotionally, like everything. And so for me, like not having dealt with that before, I feel like I kind of like shunned away from everything that I know, like family, friends, even my wife. Like it was just, I was a different cat, like at the time, like just because I was experiencing something I never had before. And like, I guess previous injuries too, like just being able, like having the game, like just taken away from me due to injury was hard for me too. But like I was having complications with my knee. So obviously after surgery, I had to fully repair, reconstruct my MCL. And the thing with the MCL, like unlike the ACL is, like the ACL gets stiff, but the MCL like really gets stiff because like the work that they got to do and stuff like that. And my knee got super stiff. My range of motion was terrible. Like I couldn't get past 90 degrees like damn near 2 months after surgery.
Yeah,
which was a problem.
That machine is.
You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So like it was a problem. Right. And so that whole thing was just tough because I felt like during that time, like it was really over for me. Like I didn't feel like I would be able to recover from that injury. And like it was even a time where like I went to the trainers and was telling them like, yo, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to come back, just because like the progress of my rehab was going so slow, and like I just couldn't see like past all that shit. So I think it was just tough for me, like to just battle all that. And I don't know, I didn't want to talk about it because it just made it worse.
So how'd you get through it?
I ain't gonna lie, like in that time, like I grew on my faith a lot. Like my mom, my grandma, like they were always like big on faith, and like growing up, they kind of like always did that for me. You know what I mean? Like you know what I mean? Like they always prayed for me. Like they always like kind of preached to me like about God and about relationship with God and stuff like that. But I really feel like that was a time in my life where like God was kind of calling me to like take over my relationship on my own with Him, and like it was a different route for me, like because instead of talking to my mom or my grandma or my wife or calling the homies, like it was just me and him, and I was in the Word a lot, I was praying a lot, and like I really got close with him like during that time, man, and it was crazy because like you know, like I was brought up in the church and my family always did that for me, so I don't want to say I didn't do it on my own, but like I never really had that connection like on my own, so that was a big part of like what helped me get through, because that's where all the positivity was coming from.
No, that's interesting, because when I was going through my injuries my freshman year in college, it was very similar to it. It was the first time I was away from home, and it was like, you know, anytime as a kid when you went to church because your parents were going to church and driving you to church, it was never like, oh, I'm about to get up, we're going to church today. If mom said we're not going to church, we ain't going to church. That's what it is. But you finally, like, good and back, obviously because it was a bad situation, but good because of the relationship. But that's a moment, and that's, you know, something that happened to where it allowed you to seek that relationship. And it's very similar with me, to where it was like, I got into it so much. Like my first winter break, I went back home and got baptized. Because I was like, this relationship that I have now is completely different than I had growing up. It was not forced, but it was just, you know, something that I was groomed into back in the day. Similar to like the clothes that your parents put you in. Like you don't really make the choice or anything like that, but obviously as you get older, you start to see what you like, you start to learn a little bit more, you start to, you know, gain a little bit of sauce. And so now you know what path you want to take, and you able to, you know, seek your own relationship. And so I think just that in itself is very special, because now that's a lasting relationship. To where it's like the experiences that you had alone, or you feel alone, but it's like those you get it, but like those conversations don't nobody else know about. Couldn't nobody else get you through. And now just being able to have that relationship to where it's like, it's like now you expect pain is obviously going to come in those different things, but you welcome it to a point to where it's like you know how to handle it.
And I think too, like it was needed, right? Like it was like at some point, like we was called to do that anyway.
I would not be sitting right here. I would not be the person right here if I had two healthy knees and a kid. Like I know.
That's what I'm saying. It's like, and so that's the other thing too, because like, especially in the league, bro, like when you go through them injuries, and like even in your case, like in college, like you kind of get that injury prone tag, but it's like from the outside looking in, of course, like it's like, oh, he always injured, or he always dealing with this, but like forget football, like take football out of the equation, bro. Like this is real life stuff. Like this is how we becoming men, like how we becoming like closer to God, like whatever it is, but it's like that stuff was meant to happen. Because like you just said, like if you ain't go through all that, like you wouldn't be the person you is today. And like I feel like that's the piece that like people don't really understand, because like I was always taught like coming up, like sports, like we're really football. Like football and faith is hand in hand. Like the stuff you go through football is like kind of the same thing you go through like with your faith. And like you gotta have them hills and them valleys to like really be called to what you're supposed to do. So yeah, I think you know it's all planned out how it's supposed to happen. So yeah.
No, I'm definitely thankful for it all, because like I said, it's gonna be that moment now, you know, when it does, like any moment that occurs now, you know how to handle it, you know who to go to, in a position now to also lead too.
Yeah, for sure.
Because it's like, like one of the things that I find like most special is being able to help with experiences. That's why I was like, dang, you should have called me.
Right.
But then I'm thinking back when I was in it, I ain't called nobody. Like it was just a point to where I played 2K. I was in the Word doing playing 2K and going to rehab. That was life. And then, but like you also now see it from a whole another aspect of, bro, you've been an athlete, you've been able to do anything you wanted to do like your entire life, and then for the first time, like you shut down. Like you're grounded. And I remember just like even, I don't know if you had this because you was out of college, but like on college campus, we used to be riding around in carts, like them little like Walmart carts when you was injured. And so like for me, I had to like just drive up to doors and like get real close, pull it, hit the rewind. Like I got really good at it to a certain point, but it's like being like doing all those different things, like you just have a whole different like viewpoint of like life, and but then also just like how special playing the game is. And then just knowing that like now to a point to where it's like I use that time, I switched my major during my after my second injury, I switched my major because I was just like I just didn't enjoy going to class. Like I just didn't enjoy being in school because I was like, if I'm just doing school, I gotta find something I love. I gotta find something I like because football ain't, it is what it is. So kind of took me on a path of like just more design and like creativity and all those different things. But in that time for you, what did you start to find? Like I know you said faith helped you get through it, but personally, what did you start to find different interests in?
Yeah, I think obviously, well, it wasn't different, but I was playing the game more for sure. But no, during that time, I think, because obviously I got my family, my own family, my wife and my 2 children. I think as much as I was like keeping to myself, like it was also like giving me time to like kind of reflect on how I was as a husband, how I was as a dad. Because obviously, I mean, like marriages are never perfect. I don't care what nobody tell you. Like every marriage has, their issues or whatever. But like I was just able to reflect on like all that stuff. So like during that time, like me and my wife kind of started this thing where we was doing like monthly checkups. Like at the end of the month, we would kind of just check in with each other and be like, yo, like, what you didn't like this past month that I was doing, what you did, like, what did you like? And like, I started to find like that helpful because I wasn't in the building as much. Like I would go to the building, rehab, and then go to the crib. And so like, obviously me and her were spending just like an enormous amount of time together. Like whenever, like I'll be playing a game, she'd be sitting right there next to me, like, cause I was in the bed, but like I was going up and down the stairs and stuff like that. So it just gave us time to like kind of talk and reflect on like what was going on in our lives. And then obviously like, I was seeing Kai a lot more. Obviously, my daughter wasn't born yet, but I was seeing Kai a lot more, being around him, hanging out with him. And so I would say, like, that time just allowed me to kind of dive back into my family a little bit. Because, I mean, during the season, bro, like, you ain't seeing them at all, for real. Like, I get home from work and, like, my son is asleep. And, like, what I mean? It's just different. So I'm grateful for that time, too, because I got to be, around them a lot more, so.
I don't even think a lot of people mention the family part of the NFL or just professional sports in general, to where it's like, as a fan, or the audience, you just expect them to just go out there and it is their livelihood and it's their career, but it's like, you have no idea what somebody has going home back at home. And so during that time, like, do you remember any moments that happened in that, or do you remember, or can you reflect on any moments that happened, in that span of time, that to where it was like you are proud of because, like, obviously the injury was bad, but because of that time, it allowed you to experience new things, do new things, or like you said, grow closer to Kai, Taylor, those different things. But is there a moment that you can reflect on to where it was just like, maybe I am supposed to be in this position right here. Maybe this is the best thing that could have happened to me right now.
Shoot, I gotta think on that because I don't think there was a moment where I was like, all right, like I don't think there was a certain situation where it was like, I know this is supposed to happen, but like just going back to like the faith thing, because like I had. Like, bro, I was in a dark spot. Like, I was in a real dark spot. Like, I didn't know if I wanted to, like, obviously I said I didn't know if I wanted to play ball again. Like, I didn't know if I was going to be able to play ball again. Like, I had, like, some serious, like, mental health issues where I was, like, battling, like, myself. Like, I don't want to say suicidal, but, like, borderline suicidal things, like, where I was just, like, I don't know if I'm supposed to be here. Like, I don't know, like, you know what I'm saying?
Because of the lack of the not being able to play or being injured?
It was a little bit of both. And once I once I said like my rehab wasn't going like how we thought it was gonna go, like it was just like, damn. So like what am I supposed to do? Like if I don't, because at that time in my life I was just like ball. Like if I didn't have ball, it was like self-destruct mode. Like I didn't really know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Like I didn't have that strict schedule of going to work, going to meetings, going to practice. Like I didn't have that strict schedule. I was just literally chilling at the crib for however many months. You know what I mean? So it's just bro, like I was like, damn, like I really didn't know the person that I was turning into, bro, because like I had never experienced mental health issues. I had never experienced any of that. And I think one thing that I do remember was a conversation I had with my mom, and this is going kind of back because there's a little backstory to it. But when Kai was born, he had like a traumatic birth or whatever, and kind of just speed past that story. But like he ended up getting like transported to a different hospital, and he had to like get these tests run on him and everything, and then he had to like basically get like a life or death procedure. And like Taylor just gave birth, so she wasn't there, and it was just me and my mom. And basically, like the doctors came up to me and was like, "Well, like you're the parent, like you're the father, so you got to make this decision." And like I was like, "Hold on, I gotta make it. My son been born, like he's been alive for not even a day, and I gotta make a decision like whether like basically like if he could live or die." You know what I'm saying? Because like the procedure was like, well, if it's successful, then he's fine, but if there's a chance that it not be successful. And my mom was there, and she looked at me and she was just like, "You gotta make this decision on your own." Like, and I was like, bro, in that moment, I was like, dang, like, I don't want to say that's kind of messed up, but like to me, I was like, dang, that's kind of messed up because I'm so used to her, like, you know what I'm saying, being the lead, making decisions, So I'm like, dang, like it was crazy. So fast forward to now at this point, I kind of like it was kind of similar like in like, oh, you need to make that decision, but it was just like, nah, like you need to be a man about the situation. Like, yeah, this is going bad, this is going wrong, but at the end of the day, and like she knew I was kind of like dealing with the mental health stuff and like that, but she was pretty much like, yo, you got a family counting on you. Like it ain't just you no more. Like you got a family counting on you. So if you're gonna do something to hurt yourself, like where's that putting your family at? You know what I mean? And so like, I would say like it was probably that conversation for me, just kind of like hearing her say that, and kind of me like having to step up and like be a man in that situation, not trying to like devalue the mental health stuff, but like really like reflect on it and like see where I was and like just be smart about the situation. So I would say that.
Yeah, I feel like there was even because you came out of high school at St. V, like you played in the Army game.
So I played in the North-South game. I didn't play in the Army game.
Oh, North-South. You went to the opening though, right? Went to the opening. All state, state champion, all those different things. And then you choose Ohio State, which was whatever. It was your decision. But I was thinking on the way over here, I was like, cause like, bro, from like the time we was like 7 or 8, we would just be like in your basement or whatever, playing what's Athens, we'd be playing Athens. That game is crazy, they didn't come back out with it cause it was wild. Athens, but we'd be playing like NCAA, whatever the game is, the Mario, Super Mario, and, the track game, all that stuff. But it was like I'm gonna go to St. V, I'm gonna do these things, and then I'm gonna go to Ohio State, then I'm gonna go to the NFL. And it's like now looking back on all that, like you accomplished all that. And so I wanted to bring up the point to the Ohio State when you first got there, because obviously stacked room. It was Braxton, Jalen, Michael Thomas, like all those different people just within your room. And so kind of just talk about like being able to, because I'm sure this might be help too, like maybe the transition to the league, but then having to earn your stripes again, like re-earn your stripes again. Wow.
Oh, that's kind of crazy.
We gotta move.
Nah, it's probably on a timer. That was crazy.
Keep it rolling. Lights went out. But just having to like earn your stripes and just get back to it. Talk about just those first couple years at Ohio State, and then just maybe that moment that you broke through, that was like kind of you relaying it to this, where it was like, like it was that moment. It's like, all right, I gotta lock in. I gotta tighten up, to where it's like, where was that moment here? Maybe it was a decision like, like Mom, maybe I want to leave. Maybe I want to go to a different school.
I had all that. Cause when I got to Ohio State, it was 2014. So Urban had been there for 2 seasons already, and he kind of like flipped the whole program upside down. Like it wasn't what it was when Tressel was there. Like he just kind of wanted to do his own thing, whatever. So I remember going in, and like, I mean, how like in high school, bro, I was like frail, 175, 180, whatever. And I get to campus, and I'm 16 at the time. I skipped a grade, so I'm 16 at the time. Get to campus at 16, I'm looking around like, bro, these dudes is grown men, like, you know what I'm saying? They yoked up, whatever, like, been in their weight room. I'm like, yo, like, but one thing that I was like, kind of always was relying on, like, my speed. Like, I always thought I was faster than everybody, obviously. But nah, I remember, like, my freshman camp, bro, I hated it. Like, I hated it. It was one of them things where I kind of think, like, all freshmen go through. It was just like, dang, like, is football really for me? Like, especially, like us, like, when you go to, like, a big Division I school, it's just like, is this really for me? Like, cause my freshman year, I was like, I don't know, like, I was in camp, bro, like, we was hit live, I was getting hit, like, I'm like, bro, like, pause, I was getting tackled hard, whatever, but
facts,
like, I just remember, like, you know, you get that break, like, in the middle of camp, like, you get a little break and you get to go home, whatever. I remember going home and I was telling my mom, like, yo, I'm not going back. Like, it's over, like, I'm not going back. It ain't for me, maybe I need to transfer to Akron, like, something, but, like, I'm like, Ohio State ain't for me. Like, I want to be close. I want to be back closer to home, even though I was only 2 hours away. Like, I want to be right back up the street. And my mom was like, no, you're not coming home. Like, this is what you chose. This is, like, you chose this path. You're gonna stay on it. You're gonna stick with it. My grandma at the time, she like, hey, if you want to come home,
Granny ain't care.
Granny ain't play. But like, I just remember, bro, like going through that time. But at the time, so our class was stacked. It was me, Johnny Dixon, Curtis Samuel, Terry McLaurin. Like, we had a stacked class. And I remember Johnny Dixon and Kurt, they both came in early. They came in the winter, so they kind of like had the program down. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just know how it ran. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. And me and Terry was kind of the lone wolves. Like, we came in summertime. And, bro, me and him was, like, going, like, we was, like, thugging it together. Like, bro, we was both miserable. Like, we sat in the back of the receiver room, bro. Like, we was roommates in a hotel for camp and everything, like, and I just remember, like, we was just having conversations, like, bro, like, I don't know how we gonna make it. Like, I really don't. Like, I don't know, like, what this gonna turn into, how we gonna make it. So, obviously, like, I ended up redshirting that year, came back sophomore year, redshirt freshman year, played a little bit on special teams, contributed a little bit on offense. Actually, I got my first start that year in the opening game versus Virginia Tech.
Okay.
And it was a shaky start because I remember, bro, I want to say it was first quarter, and we had, you know, like when you had your Blitz Zero checks like for the week, like we see Blitz Zero, we get into this, and we had some guys that was suspended, so like I was starting, so I'm like, boom, bet, I'm ready all week, bro. I had a good week of practice, boom, I'm ready. We get in the game. V-Tech Stadium is crazy. You're in the stadium, like, bro, the stands is like, it's like they falling on you. It's like the stadium leaning in. So I'm like, it's crazy. Bro, we on the field, third down. It's Blitz Zero. So Cardell, he the quarterback at the time. He checked. So basically it was post on the outside, slants on the inside. But all week, Braxton was in the slot. And Cardell was throwing a slant to him every single time. Like, every single time. So I'm like, boy, he gonna call the Blitz Zero check. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. I'm throwing my little post, whatever. So, boom, he checked the play. And I'm lined up, bro. It's Blitz Zero, so I'm solo. Kill the dude on the post. Inside release, boom. Sticks separate, wide open. 12, Cardell threw me the ball, bro. Hit my hands drop. It would have been a walk in. And I'm like, in that moment, I'm like, dang, bro, like I just had what I considered the worst year of my life, freshman year in football. And then my first start at Ohio State, I have a play where it could have potentially be a touchdown, and instead it's a drop. And so, like, you know, like in that moment, like when you're on the big stage too, and you just have a bad play, it's just like it weigh on you so much, bro.
Facts.
Especially at that high level, and like, you know, like.
And you being like the young dude
with
the vets,
trying to prove yourself coming up or whatever, like.
Because that was right after national championship.
Right after national championship. And so, that's what I'm saying. So it was even more up there. And that game specifically, bro, it was a huge game because the year before they beat us. Mm-hmm. And so like that was like kind of like our get back game, whatever. And I just remember like after the game, like Stephen A was saying stuff about me. He was like, man, Parris Campbell, he gotta catch that, blah, blah, blah. And I just remember seeing all that stuff on ESPN and Twitter, like all that stuff, and I was like, dang, man, like this can't be the way that, you know what I'm saying? This can't be the way that my career go. So end up like getting through that year or whatever, like I said, played on special teams, contributed a little bit on on offense. But going into year 3, my redshirt sophomore year, it was a little bit of the same things, kind of special teams, offense. Not a huge role, but I made some plays, whatever. But when the switch flipped, it's definitely my 4th year, so would have been my redshirt junior year.
Yeah.
And I just remember like that spring before the season, like I was like developing like into my body because I would have been 19 turning 20. Yeah, I was 19 turning 20 at the time, which is still hella
Crazy.
young. Whatever.
Yeah.
But I just remember kind of developing into my body, like kind of feeling myself, being in the weight room, getting stronger, kind of developing it into a receiver too, because I played running back in high school, so making that switch was a little hard too. So kind of like having some years of playing receiver underneath my belt, I just felt like I was coming into my own. And that spring, like I was hooping, like whatever it was, like I soloed up, like whatever in the slot, just routing everybody up. Like I just had a good spring, and that kind of like continued to build my confidence up. And we got into the season and had a big role on offense, made a bunch of plays. And at the end of that year, it was really like, you want to go to the league or you want to come back? And obviously ended up coming back. And but yeah, I had to work my way up through it. You know what I'm saying? It wasn't easy. Definitely wasn't easy. So
I got a question. Did JT Barrett get that first down?
Absolutely.
Kind of crazy.
I mean, I know what you think and what everybody thinks that's on that side, but come on, bro.
I'm not on that side. I'm in the middle. I mean, I was on that side, but I don't think he got it. Just from my view, from the replay, I don't think he got it. But
hey, man,
great game, nonetheless, at least. What do you think though? Because you didn't lose to the team up north.
Never lost.
So now now watching those games, because some of the same coaches still on, like Day, was he on staff?
Yeah, Day was on staff
Okay.
my 4th and 5th year.
Okay, bad. So some of the same staff members are still there and everything, but like now as an alum watching those games, knowing like, because when we grew up, I don't even think Michigan won.
Right.
Like I'm trying to.
Because we used to go at it when we was young.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like I'm trying to think like, they might have got one in the span of whatever, but now, you going through, y'all didn't lose, but now watching it, I mean, tables to turn, and they won a national championship. Right. So, they might be the best team in Big Ten. They are.
No more.
So
hey, coach left, bro. It's gonna be different.
How is it, from your point of view, watching it?
It's
like,
tough.
what's the difference, you think?
It's tough.
What's the difference? Or is it Michigan getting better?
I think with any great rivalry though, like the tide is always gonna turn at some point. You know what I mean? I just like for our generation, like my class, the people I was in school with, like I don't think we expected it to happen this fast. Cause like we never lost. Like I was 5-0 against them. You know what I'm saying? So that's all we knew. That's all we like. When you get to Ohio State, like they tell you from day one, like this is why you came to Ohio State to play in that game. Like we hate them, they hate us. This is what it's about. Like, and that week, well, not even that week. Well, like winter training, spring training, like it's all about beating the team up north.
Right.
We got to exercise after every workout. Is the team up north when we do push-ups and sit-ups and ab work of how many days we have until we play that game. Like that's what it's about. You know what I'm saying? And like I don't think that's changed. I don't think that's changed at all because it's like Coach Mick, he's kind of the face of that, and that's what he preaches and that's what he abides by. So I don't think that's changed. But I would never give credit to the team. Like I would never do it. But like you can't really. What can I say? Like they national champ. You know what I mean? What can I say? They gotta be doing something, right?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And obviously, I mean, I got a little ammo because they had the little cheating scandal going on.
Yeah,
whatever it is. But no, I mean, I think any great rivalry, like the tide is meant to turn at some point. But it's been tough watching. Like it's been real tough watching because it's like I know the intensity that we had when we took the field against them, and I know watching the games, like you can see that intensity, like you can see that. And sometimes when I'm watching the games, it's just like, do I really see that intensity? But it is like, then again, it's like, how can I question the intensity? And I know
what they're going through.
I know what's going on. Like, so it's like, But that's the fan side coming out of me. That's not the player that been through it side of me. So it's like, I go back and forth all the time, but it's like, at the end of the day, we're not getting the job done. So something got to change, something got to be better. Like, who cares if they getting better? We gotta be one step ahead. Like, we gotta be training harder than them. We gotta be doing this better than whatever it is. Like, we have to do all that stuff better. And the good thing about it is everybody in that building knows that. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's naive to the fact like, oh no, they just getting better than us. It's like, no, like, you know, like, if you don't win that game, then all this is at stake. You know what I'm saying? Like, so they know that people's livelihoods is on that game. So, yeah, I mean, it's tough though, bro. I'm not gonna lie. It's like, I talk to all the people that I went to school with, like, everybody feels the same way. Like, it hurts. Even though I've been out of college for 6 years now, like, the games still hurt the same, so.
Yeah, man. I don't even enjoy it no more because I've changed to now an Ohio State fan.
Yeah. Oh wow.
Yeah, it's crazy. I changed. I root for Ohio. I like Ohio State's players.
Yeah.
Because y'all always got y'all always got players that it's hard to root against. Like it's hard to root against Marvin.
Right.
It's harder. Y'all always got good DBs too. So I always be checking y'all out. To where it's like Michigan, they be having a couple, but I just feel like they physical. I feel like and I think and from obviously I didn't play at Michigan or play at Ohio State or play in the game, but from just watching the game, I feel like Ohio State always had a crazy D line.
Yeah.
Like the Bosa's,
right.
Chase.
Yeah.
And that's just like recently, and I feel like that was maybe the difference maker.
Yeah.
To where it's like they stopping the run and getting after the quarterback, and I feel like that obviously helps out the DBs for sure. Like the DBs back when you was playing,
right.
ridiculous.
Elite, yeah.
And that's not to say like Denzel Burke and them, they're not good either. But then it's just like, I just think that was just like the difference because the offense, I feel like, is more explosive now.
Yeah, 100%.
In terms of the plays and stuff, because I feel like y'all was a more, like, maybe gadgets.
Yeah.
Y'all definitely, hit
100%.
them over the top and everything, but 100%. You had the reverses, you and Curtis and all that stuff. So my thing is like the offense is explosive, but I think the biggest difference is that D-line, because y'all have all pro D-linemen.
Yeah. In
college, like
right.
they could have, exactly.
100%.
You feel me? And I just really think that like that's the difference. There.
I mean, and I think you can see that too, like when you watching because when you look at the team of North and they run game, like, bro, they bowling people over. Like Blake Corum, Donovan Edwards, like, and this is the only credit I'm giving them because I actually like them too as players, like, but they was running all over us. You know what I'm saying? And it wasn't just us. Anybody they played, that's how they won the national championship, bro. Like they won by running the ball. And I mean, like you said, like I think the game definitely starts in the trenches, and it's won in the trenches because shoot, our motto was always when you go on away trips, when you go on road trips, how you gonna win the game? You gotta stop the run and run the ball. And it's that simple. And if you ain't stopping the run, they gonna run it up. And what happens? The clock dwindles down. They running the ball. You can't stop it. It just ends in points, and then it's like our offense always got to play catch up. You know what I mean? So, I mean, Ohio State definitely took this offseason serious, and they got a bunch of pieces. So, I mean, I'm hoping we can turn it around. But I think it's gonna be a little bit different because of the staff change over there.
Who knew?
So they got a new head coach. Harbaugh left. Harbaugh was.
Oh, you talking about? Okay, yeah, right.
So
I thought you were talking about Ohio State.
Yeah, no. I think it's gonna be a little bit different. Just because I mean, anytime you got a new regime, it's always a little bit different.
Right,
first. So
right.
We're gonna see. And I don't want to say that that's an excuse for us, but I mean, you gotta use every advantage you can. So.
Definitely. No, I see. If I was a betting man, I definitely take y'all this year.
Yeah.
Got to see how to.
Always taking us in the last 2 years, bro. I've been in front of the TV.
Unfortunately, I did too.
Ready to throw the remote at the TV.
Unfortunately, I took y'all to the past 2 years because silly me.
I can't believe they won the Natty though, bro. The Natty hurt my heart.
When they beat Bama though, I was like, I think they got it. Cause who did they play again? Washington. Yeah. And Washington didn't stop the run all year.
Oh, bro.
And then watching the game, they was getting after Penix. So
It was crazy because like
I don't even think they were the best team last year. I think Bama was.
I think Bama was too. And it's like as an Ohio State alum, as an Ohio State fan, like in the Natty, like Washington literally like had every Ohio State fan like cheering for them.
Yeah.
It was like they just beat us. They won a Big Ten championship, but it's like, dang, they can't win the Natty.
Yeah.
And the Natty was just like
you never count on them winning the Natty though. It's like, yo, all right, yeah, I'll get there, get to the playoffs.
Yeah,
all right,
and it
get out
was just
of there.
like,
Yeah.
damn, like, why y'all let them win the Natty? And what's so crazy is that was I ended up going home back to Indy like during that time, and you know the game was in Indy.
Oh, I didn't know. Oh, yeah.
So one of the games was in Indy, and bro, I'm in the airport, bro, and it's nothing but Michigan fans, bro. And I was just like, bro, they walking around all prideful, happy, smiling, cheesing. I'm just like, bro, this not what I'm used to.
But
bro.
that's what y'all experienced the last 20 years.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Like I said, bro, I never. You always know the tide gonna turn at some point. I just never thought it would happen this fast.
Right.
You know, so. But I mean, it is what it is. We're gonna get back right.
It is what it is. They need to get some more kids from Akron St. V, huh?
I don't know what they need to do. They need to. I don't know. But I think too though, like, don't get me wrong, NIL is great, but I think NIL is a little. I don't know. I got my issues with NIL.
Y'all was probably getting NIL. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, but
No comment.
But I mean, hey, my thing is, what would a team go do? You know, after your rival go win a national championship, this is what's allowed now. This is what in play. This is what you go do.
Yeah.
This you go.
Yeah.
Not, you know, you go get the best team available.
For sure, and I think that's what they did. Yeah.
I mean, they got one of the best DBs, Caleb Downs.
Yeah.
They got a quarterback from Kansas State.
Yep.
So.
And we need him to hoop.
Yeah.
We need him to hoop. Like, he's.
You wasn't a fan of the Honda? I got a Honda Accord, but you wasn't a fan.
It wasn't. I don't say.
What's his real name?
Or not Devin Brown. Kyle McCord.
Yeah.
Bro, it's not that I wasn't a fan.
You just used to the Dodge Durango Challenger.
I'm used to the air it out.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? But it's like to his defense, like I really don't think they ever really gave him a fair shake. The fans I'm talking about, I don't really think they ever gave him a fair shake. Obviously, he had 1 year, like, and it was just like.
I mean, but to be honest, bro, Ohio State fans are the most spoiled fans in the world.
In terms of just the players that we have?
No, it's just that, like, the expectation.
Yeah, I mean, I can see that. But, I mean, when you've been doing something and you've been good for so long, I mean.
That's what I'm saying. That's what comes with being spoiled.
But it's like, I think
because he's not a bad quarterback.
No, he's not a bad quarterback at all.
He went undefeated.
Yeah.
Well, he didn't go undefeated, but.
He's not a bad quarterback at all. But it's like, when you just have C.J. Stroud back-to-back years do what he did, you know what I'm saying?
And Fields before him.
And Haskins before that.
Yeah, and it's just, like.
Yeah, you're right.
Spoiled.
But, hey, man, that's the territory.
Because that's what, I mean, similar to, like, Bama.
Yeah.
Because they benched Milroe.
Yeah.
Early into the season. And then, I don't know what clicked, but maybe they changed the offense or maybe Buddy just got some confidence. But I feel like that's just college. Like, you got to, and it sucks that it's the quarterback position, but I think you got to give players just room to grow. Like, now coming back, it's like, boom.
Yeah.
It's like, now what would he look like this year? He coming back, he got confidence.
Exactly.
But, like, to a point to where the fan base is like, yo, get him out of here.
Yeah.
Like, we done with him.
And
like,
it's all over the media.
All over.
So how can I, as a 20-year-old college student, be like, all right, these are the same fans that y'all expect me to go put up show? And obviously, like, you could say, like, oh, I'm not doing it for the fans, but, bro, that's a part of it. Like, especially at Ohio State. Like, that's the fan base, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like, come on now, that's what we're doing it for. You know what I'm saying? We're entertainers.
Because them the first ones under your comments.
Exactly.
And they supposed to be like, great game, you got good dub.
That's what I'm saying.
And they be like, you winning, you leaving the game, and they're like, bro, you suck.
Yeah.
And it's like.
But it's like, that's what come with it.
Yeah.
So that's why I say, like, Will Howard, assuming he's going to be the starting quarterback, but it's just like, you got the pieces, bro. Like,
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's one thing about the Ohio State quarterback. Whoever it is, like, you know you're going to have the pieces around you. So it's just like.
They got another running back from Ole Miss.
Yeah, yep.
No, I'm excited for this college football season. I think I get more excited, honestly, for college football just because every game matters.
Yeah,
every
100%.
game, every game counts. To whereas like NFL, I think like you got those big matchups and everything, but like teams take time
for sure.
to get going.
Especially,
and once they get close, once they get pretty much cold, that's when like NFL start to really kick in because dudes locked in. But nah, I'm definitely excited for it. This is kind of unfair, but because I'm gonna say like who you got to like win the national championship, but you're gonna say Ohio State, So I wouldn't. 100%. I'm not gonna say Notre Dame because they're not gonna win. But, hope y'all win.
No, I hope we do. I hope too though, just because for the sake of a lot of those guys that came back for their 5th year.
True.
So like
now, do you think that had like why do you think that? Now is it maybe that rivalry game, last game of the season?
Yeah.
NIL money, obviously.
I think it's a culmination of all of that. But having talked to those guys, because I go on the Buckeye Cruise for cancer every year, and they had the current players on there this year, and it was all the guys that came back for their 5th year. And just like with talking to them, like they got a chip on their shoulder, you know what I mean? And like obviously not being with them on a day-to-day basis, so like we can come up with whatever assumptions we want about with the team or how they feeling, what they thinking. But like having talked to them guys, talking to Travion, talking to Denzel, talking to Emeka, like they got a chip on their shoulder, bro. And it was like, nah, we want to come back because we feel like we could do something special. Like we haven't beat the team up north, like we want to beat them. We want to win a national championship. They haven't won a Big Ten championship. We want to win the Big Ten. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like they got that chip on their shoulder. And yeah, at the end of the day, they get that NIL bread, which is nice. But I think it's much more to them. I really do think it's much more to them, and having that chip on their shoulder is a big part of why they came back. So I'm excited. I'm excited for them. I'm excited, especially for them 5th year guys, because I know what it's like to be a 5th year guy, like trying to prove something. You know what I mean? So no, I'm excited for them. I'm excited for them.
What size chip you got on your shoulder?
Tough.
Hey, what size?
Boy, I don't even know if it's a chip. It's a boulder. For sure.
It's the Dorito, the big, the Cheez-It,
Put them together.
Yeah.
Nah, man, it's last year my career was interesting. It was super interesting.
Yeah, I mean, just seeing the stuff that's going on this offseason, last season was because Waller, I think, just announced that he's retiring is retiring. I think Daniel Jones got hurt, right? So it was like tough situation.
Yeah.
What's up? What's up with the Giants, bro? What they on?
I don't know, man. It was just a lot of.
Because let me say this: when I went to y'all practice at camp, it looked like
hooping,
ball in the air, like
hooping.
All y'all balling.
Yeah, and to be honest,
like taking shots down. If y'all using high eight, they using Waller over the middle. Like it looked like what everybody was talking about on the media. Like
you not gotta tell me, dog. Bro, like I can't tell you the one thing that went wrong, cause a lot of the times where it's like you get those scenes where it's like, all right, the hype is up here during the off season or leading to the off season, going through training camp. The hype is here, and then you get to the season and it's take a dip. And it's like, usually it's like, oh, it's turmoil between the players, or it's turmoil between the players and the coaches. And like, to keep it 100 with you, bro, like, that was one of the tightest knit groups of players that I've been around.
Right.
Like swear to you, like, don't get me wrong, like the teams I was on in Indy was tight knit as hell too, but like, this one was like, it was tight. Like, it was everything you wanted and more, like quarterback, receivers, the offense as a whole, like going to dinners on Friday nights before games, like hanging out at people's cribs, like doing stuff outside of the facility, like that was going on between everybody, like, and it wasn't like this group here, this group here. It was like, oh, it's the whole offense, oh, it's the whole defense, oh, it's some of the offense and some of the defense. Like, it was a tight-knit group. So like, that wasn't the reasoning. Obviously, like, you look in the media and like, it was turmoil between the coaches. Obviously, being a player, like, you see some stuff, but you don't see everything behind closed doors. So it's like, I can't really put my finger on that because I don't really know if that's the reason either. But then, like, just as an offense too, like, anybody that was watching could see that we just wasn't clicking.
Right.
And I don't know really what it was, to be honest, but just speaking individually, like it was tough for me because shoot, you seen it firsthand, like when you came to camp, like you see me involved, you see me doing this, you see me doing that. And then there was just a point of the season where like I wasn't involved no more. And like anybody can say what the reason was. I still to this day don't know what the reason was. And there's no like bad blood between me or the Giants organization or anybody in the Giants organization, but it's just like I wish that there would have been like clarity between me and the staff just about utilization or being on the field or whether y'all thought I was good enough. Like I'm, at the end of the day, bro, like I'm a grown man. Like I'm a man first. Like tell me what it is. Like I'd rather you tell me like, oh, we don't think you're good enough. We think you need to get better than this and this and this, than to leave me in the blind and just
right.
Because like week 3, like that's kind of when my role started to diminish. And shoot, I went to the special teams coordinator, and I was like, yo, like I got to get in on kick return because my role on offense is diminishing. Like I need to like add value to the team in some way, some fashion. Because I mean, they brought me on a 1-year deal, but like it wasn't like a light deal. Like my incentives was up to like $6 million. So like that's some bread. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm like I need to add value.
Yeah,
like, I'm trying to get
that
you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So I went to him and he was like, yeah, like 100%. He was like, I wish you would have came back here from the start and everything. I'm like, hey man, I was super involved in offense. You know how that get. But end up going back there on kick return. I think like the first like 3 or 4 weeks that I was doing it, like I was like leading the league in kickoff return average. And so I'm like, cool. I'm gonna just carve me out a roll on kick return, play my little 15 to 20 snaps on offense whenever they need me. It is what it is. Like if this is that year that has to be like that, that's cool.
Right.
Obviously, I didn't think that's what it was gonna be, but if that's what it turns into be, it's cool. And then we go on our bye week, and we come back, going through the week, normal week, whatever. Get my little 15 reps on offense, whatever personnels I'm in on. Know I'm obviously gonna be the starting kick returner, boom, boom, whatever. And I remember we had our Saturday walkthrough, before the game. We walking off the field, and head coach come up to me. He's like, yo, let me holler at you. I'm like, for sure, what's up? He's like, I'm gonna make you inactive this week. I was like, in that moment, I'm like, what? In my head, I'm like, no way I just heard that.
Yeah.
No way. Like, I said, what? You gonna do what? He's like, yeah. He was like, oh, yeah, I'm gonna make you inactive this week. He was like, I just, there's some numbers that's low on defense. We gotta bring some guys up. And in the moment, it was just like, I didn't have nothing to say. Like, I was really just lost for words. One, because I'm walking off the field from walkthrough, wasn't expecting it. Like, we play tomorrow, you know what I'm saying? So I really, like, I was kind of in my routine.
You was ready.
I was in my routine of the week. And so, like, it was just like a big ass foot to the back, like, just got kicked down. And, like, bro, I remember going home, not like, shit, nobody know this really other than my wife, but like, I remember driving back to my condo, like I parked in the parking garage, bro. I sat there for a minute, bro, and just started crying. Cause I'm like, what in the hell? Like, what's going on? Like, I never thought that I'd be inactive in the league, bro. Like, I was like what? Like, no, like this not me. Like, I work my ass off, bro. Like, I put in hours, I put in time. Like, I grind for this shit. It's just like, how did I get to this point? You know what I mean? Like. So I'm just sitting there, like, just full of emotion, like, kind of just running through everything in the year, like, because I'm like, OTAs, I was hooping. Camp, I was hooping. Boom, boom, boom. Like, forget the outside hype. I'm just like, yo, like, this is what it was, like, in the building.
Right.
Like, everybody sees this. Like, everybody kind of sees where this is, like, heading. And so, like, I was just, like, trying to replay everything in my head, like, how did I get to this point? So where my coach is telling me I'm inactive. And, that was tough for me, but, like, going back to what we talked about earlier, like going through those injuries, like and getting closer to God in my faith, like that's what I was relying on. I knew how to get through this situation. I knew how to get through this tough time. And like that was a big thing for me. But it was just like, bro, it was tough because I'm like, for the next 5 weeks, I was inactive.
Right.
And it was some contract stuff involved too, where I wasn't getting a specific bonus and stuff like that, which it's a business at the end of the day. And if he's not as involved on offense, or if he's just doing kick return, why are we paying him X, Y, and Z if he's not? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So people can say it's shady, people can say what it is, but that's the business we all signed up to be in. So, but that chip is there. That chip is there for sure, because it's just like, bro, I know I can play in this league, bro. The year before, prior, bro, I just had 70 catches for, you know what I'm saying, almost 700 yards, like 4 touchdowns. Like, I know I can play in the league. So, like, how did that turn into me being active the last 5 weeks?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's just like, I don't know, I find myself thinking a lot, like, dang, like, where did I go wrong? What did I do wrong? So, yeah, I mean, that chip is there.
How's the energy been around the Eagles and, like, within the offense there and the culture there?
Yeah, man, it's been phenomenal. Like, honestly, like, it's been fun. Like, I've kind of, like, just having fun again, like, with the game and with the sport. You know, like, when I put them cleats on and I hit that grass, like, there's no better feeling than that. And I'm getting that feeling back. But just being around the guys there, kind of just being around the staff and the organization, it's a family-friendly organization. They care about their players. And one thing that's pretty cool is, like, being back with Nick Sirianni, who was the OC in Indy when they drafted me.
Right.
He was a big reason, obviously, why I wanted to go back there, or why I wanted to go to Philly. And it's kind of cool, like, because me and him have had conversations just about, you know, last year.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, he's challenged me, like, mentally of like, okay, well, now you're here, so, like, what is your goal? Like, he's asking me those questions. And he's like, what do you want to do? Like, why are you here? What's your goal? And so him challenging me in those ways have been positive for me, because he reminds me of what I told him. You know what I'm saying? And basically what I told him was just like my goal is, like, I don't have these big aspirations of yards, catching touchdowns, but, like, I think just going through what I went through last year with the whole situation, like, I told him, like, yo, my goal is to get better each and every single day and carve out a role for myself in this offense. Like, we got an offense filled with A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, Saquon Barkley, Jalen Hurts. Like, the offense is stacked.
A lot of money on that offense.
You know what I'm saying? Like, but it's like, if I, Parris Campbell, can come in there, work my ass off, like I said, get better each and every day, and carve out a role for myself, like that's a pretty damn good role.
Right,
It's a pretty damn
exactly.
offense. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's why I told him, like, straight up, and you know what I'm saying? He challenged me every day. He's like, remember what you told me? Like, get better today. So, the energy, man, is dope. Even the players, like, being around AJ, being around Smitty, Jalen, like, obviously played with Saquon last year, so being back with Say, it's been dope, bro, because, like, everybody's holding each other accountable, everybody, you know, fighting for the same goal to, you know, obviously do something great, climb that mountain and get to where we want to get as a team. But it's been dope, bro. It's kind of a refreshed scene for me, for sure.
Yeah. They also got some players with a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah,
like,
for sure.
The coach got a chip on his shoulder, just coming from, obviously they was in the Super Bowl, and then, you know, not coming close last year.
Right.
So where it's like, now he got a chip on his shoulder. Saquon got a chip on his shoulder.
Yeah.
Jalen got it. Like, so you around, I feel like, a group of players who obviously didn't get to where they wanted to get to last year after already, you know, tasting it.
Yeah.
And then now bringing in a player like you, bringing in a player like Saquon, to where it's like, y'all are even hungrier. You feel me? And so I feel like I don't really know who. And then even Chauncey on the defensive side of the ball.
Yeah.
So it's like I mean, we talking about, you know, preseason, all those different things. Team look good, but I think the energy is different. I think the energy will be there. I know y'all excited for that Giants game for sure. Like, already excited for it, but I know y'all even more excited for it. But I also heard that the cafeteria in Philly is crazy.
Fire. The food is crazy, bro. Like, we be getting some crazy stuff. Like, anything, bro, you can think of, like, they cook it, and it be fire. From chicken to steaks to ribs to everything. And you know what I'm saying? Like, you get your healthy stuff in there. Sometimes they be having a little, you know what I'm saying? But it's fire, bro. Like, it's fire. From the desserts that's in there.
Yeah.
Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's really a good environment to be in. And, like, it's always tough, like, going to team. Like, obviously, like, being with the Giants was my first new team. So, like, kind of, like, having to learn everybody over again, learn how to build and work, learn how the organization work, learn how the people work. Like, having to do that over again, it's always tough. But the people made it easier, man. Like, it's a group of great people. So they made it easy. And then, talking about that chip that the team and the organization has, like, bro, we walked into it. Like, OTAs and the off-season program, like, I was like, yo, we kind of, like, we grinding. Like, what's going on? Like, usually, like, the off-season program kind of chill, relax, and let guys, you know what I'm saying, get back into it. I'm like, yo, was y'all doing this last year? And like, nah, bro, like, we finished 1-7, so, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't sweet. Like, we're trying to, you know what I'm saying, get guys back going. And you can definitely see, the chip just from top to bottom. And that was kind of like, when I signed with them, talking to Howie Roseman, the GM, that was kind of like what he was telling me. He was like, yo, like, we think you had that chip on your shoulder just from what happened with you. And he was like, I can tell you damn straight, like, we got that chip on our shoulder just because of how we finished. So it was just like, yeah, like, I'm walking into a team that's hungry and you getting a hungry player. So, I'm excited, man. I'm excited for, the new start. So we're going to see.
Yeah.
We're going to see.
We definitely have to talk about the foundation or your foundation and just like upbringing to what got you here, to, what got you to the position that you're in. Not even talking about just like the athleticism and the skill and all that, but just I know we touched on it a little bit earlier, and like just how, pivotal your family's been, just seeing it firsthand, but also just now hearing it too.
Yeah.
I feel like I know you too well to like be like, what was it like growing up? Like, I'm like, but talk about it because I want to talk about it because you're back in Akron because you just had a youth camp.
Yeah.
Your first youth football camp at Akron St. V, where you went to high school. And so we were talking about it yesterday, literally on the field, to where it was like we didn't have opportunities like this, to where even if they were out there, we ain't know about them. Like we ain't do. I feel like we ain't do none of this. Like I just feel like we kicked it during the day, played a video game, swam, whatever we did, and then went to track practice. Yeah. But it was like, oh, you going to this camp, you going to this, you going to this showcase, and it was none of that. Yeah. But like now you be in a position to where a guy, that went to St. V as well as LeBron. So where it's like when we was kids, we looked up to LeBron. Right. And so now you being in that same position to where now you could come back, have your own camp, and now kids are looking up to you. What did that mean to you, being from the streets of Akron and then seeing the kids come back today, the other day, excited to see you and excited to be a part of your first camp?
Yeah, it was dope, bro. It was dope. And I think the biggest thing for me is like I always kind of wanted to do something like this. I've been wanting to do it for a long time. And like one thing that like I was always hesitant about is like I didn't know how the turnout was going to be. And I mean, I'm sure everybody is like that when they, have events like that or whatever. And like, I just remember always telling me like my wife or like my mom, like telling me like you from the city, like people know who you are, like it's gonna be a great turnout. But it's like, for me, like I don't like necessarily look at it like that because like from one instance, like I haven't accomplished what I wanted to accomplish, like where I'm at yet. So it's just like, the way I think of myself is not how everybody else thinks of myself, you know what I mean? So it was like, I was a little hesitant with that. Even like while we was playing and kind of going on, I was always just like, damn, like is people gonna show up? Is people gonna show up? So I remember we initially opened it for 200 kids, and we posted the registration link, whatever. Bro, it sold out in like I think like 30, 40 minutes. So I was like, damn. So that was a little bit hopeful because I'm like, all right, damn, maybe like you know what I'm saying, maybe kids is gonna show up. But then it was like a part of me was like, nah, like I don't know, like it's free, like maybe kids just logging in real quick, like it's free, like so. And then it was like, my marketing team, Teresa, she was a big help with my mom, like planning and stuff. I remember they were like, all right, so do we want to open it up for 50 more kids? And I was like, no, like we cool, like just keep it at 200. We ended up opening it for 50 more kids, and the 50 sold out like less than that. And so I just remember like the anticipation of the build up. Like I was still nervous, like even the day before, like I was nervous. I'm like, man, I know kids signed up, whatever, but I don't know if they're gonna show up. And then so yesterday, like obviously having a camp, whatever, like seeing the turnout, man, like I just had chills for real, cause like I come from this environment, and like it means a lot to me because this is where I'm from, and I know like not a lot of people make it out from these streets. So having been one of those people, like I take great pride in that, and it was just so cool to see like all the kids out there, man. Like even some of the kids was telling me like, yo, like this is my first football camp that I've ever been to. And I'm like, dang, like that's dope. Like that I was being like, you know what I'm saying? I was in a position to be able to like kind of set that up for them and, you know, their families. And that was another thing that was dope to me, like kind of just seeing like all the families that stayed, like the parents that just kicked it in the stands while their kids was participating. Because I mean, you know, like how your family was and how my family was, like they supported us like, bro, through thick and thin. They was always at every track meet, always at every event. And so like looking up in the stands, like seeing that was dope because it reminded me of like how our parents was. And the last thing that was super dope was like all my homies coming back to help. Like obviously you and like all the homies I went to school with, growing up with, and played ball with. Like just seeing y'all all on the field, like at a drop of a dime, like knowing that like there's no conversation, there's nothing, like it's just y'all there for the love of me, like and to support me. Like that was super dope for me because like everybody came from which way, wherever they at now in life, and we all came back for the same purpose, like for the community. So that was really like super dope to me for sure. So yeah, man, it was dope, and I can't wait till next year.
Yeah, I definitely can't leave without saying shout out to West Akron Track.
Facts.
Coach Denise, Coach Regina.
Coach Regina, yes sir.
Coach Mike.
Everybody.
It's a ton of people. It's a ton of people. Everybody we ran with, from the parents who helped, from Doc, from literally from everybody. So it's way too many people to thank, but way too many people to thank. But seeing Tyson, seeing Ducey, that was special, right? Bro.
Crazy,
like I'm not gonna lie,
bro.
When Ducey came into me, I was like, I almost
crazy
because like, I don't think I've ever told Ducey this, but like Ducey was like,
he was the guy.
Yeah, like
he was the guy,
Ducey was probably like 2 years older than us or something, but
he was
the one that like it was like, yo, I want to be Ducey on the track, and then you see Ducey highlights because he got to high school first, so it's like. No, it was really Tyson.
Yeah, Tyson
so
was
we
the
saw
one,
Tyson, and then Tyson go to where'd he go?
He went to Syracuse.
I'm talking about. I was thinking high school.
Garfield.
Garfield. So seeing him, he went crazy there. Then he went to Syracuse, and then seeing Ducey go to Copley, and then it's like, oh, like we tough. Like we got something. Like, but like I feel like to us, because now sometimes when I see, and it's like we grew up like. It was like a unique childhood, I feel like, because looking back on it, it was like, bro, we got to travel everywhere for track, to run, to compete nationally, to where you get to a point to where it's like a lot of kids that I played high school with, or that I'm sure that you come across, even kids now, it's like they haven't left the city, they haven't left their bubble, and it was like our parents being there, and then the support system of other parents and the coaches, because till this day I don't even know if Coach Denise and all them was getting paid.
No,
I have no idea, but like they was there every single day, you know, like they was doing it for the love of it, and just so like knowing that, it was like we had like a great support system. But I wanted to touch on going, you know, that, or being able to have that experience, and then going to high school, going to college. There was like one thing that stuck out to me at practice, you know, lane field is what it's called. And one thing I always like go back to where it's like I feel like where I get my mindset, my hustle, like my grind from is from the like not being able to see on top of that hill, right?
Yeah.
So it's like you get to practice, you get dropped off, go down the steps or whatever, and it's like I feel like sometimes your mom will come down to the fence. But like I feel like my dad
he always was up there.
Always was up there. So I'm like, I don't know if he left. I don't know if he's still there. But I know if I'm not, because we driving from far. So I'm like, I'm already knowing if I go up to the truck and I ain't on my stuff today, he gonna let me hear it the whole ride home. So that's a point to where it's like something very small that I didn't realize till I got older. Till I got to the point to where it was like, somebody asked me, it was just like, why do you like go so hard? Like, why do you want it so much? And it was just like, that's just all I ever knew. Like, I never wanted to disappoint or feel like I wasted my dad's time driving out here because I was down there playing around. And he ain't have to take me, you feel me?
Nah, that's crazy.
Now, is there a moment?
Dang, I never even knew that.
You feel me? But that's also something, but like, I feel like that just happens. Like, because when I was a kid, it was just like, I'm thinking it was like, all right, Coach Denise gonna get on me. Like if I'm not doing my best, Coach Denise gonna get on me. But I just started to think about to where it's like when I got to college and there was no one around, And it's just, or even just high school. And but like now when I got to college and there's no one around, like no one that I truly am doing it for, or like if I am slacking, who's gonna get on me? Nobody.
Yeah.
But I just felt like I just started to think about it, and I was just like, man, like I think that was the moment that I look back to, and I was just like, I always had to go hard because I never knew if he was watching.
Right. Man, that's crazy.
You feel me?
That's deep though.
You feel me?
Real.
Yeah.
That's
but like literally, so I always think about, I always get, and like even now, just in like business, it's like I don't know who's watching. I don't know if he's watching, but I do know like if he is watching, he gonna want me to not waste his time and like now that whole preparation and just like now you a father. And to where a moment that I saw yesterday at the camp that stuck out to me, and it was funny. I didn't say nothing or do nothing, but when Kai came up to you at the end, and he was like, can I go? He's like, can we have a sleepover? Can we have a sleepover? And then he was like, Mommy told me to ask Daddy and all that stuff. And so that just reminded me of just like us, like planning, like all right, you go ask my mom, I'm gonna go ask your mom, and then it just happened. So like seeing that, I was like, dang, like that was literally us right there, and like, so just everything just came full circle, bro. So this was something that I definitely wanted to do, bro. It's like I definitely didn't think of you when I started. I'm not gonna lie. But I think this was a perfect moment.
Yeah, for sure.
I think this was the perfect moment. I definitely gotta ask you about LeBron and that relationship real quick before we get off. How did that, is that just a St. V thing to where it's like you went to St. V and it developed over time? Or because he shot, like you got the I Promise cleats. You got the Local Legend cleats.
For sure.
Local Legend.
Local Legend.
But you also did the I Promise cleats for a couple years now. Like, how did that relationship?
So it was kind of surreal, because my junior year going into my senior year, like Bron came around, but like I had never like had an interaction with him. Like he just was around, like St. V, whatever, giving back. And
because he did the jersey review. Were you here for the jersey? Okay.
So this is a story about that actually. So the year of the jersey reveal, he came back. You know, he modeled the jerseys or whatever. And obviously, like he came out on stage flexing the black jerseys. And everybody was going crazy. And like we all rushed the stage. Boom, we all rushing the stage. He taking pictures with everybody. And I remember them just kind of getting everybody off stage. And Bron said what he had to say. And then like they were kind of escorting him off the field, and everybody, like, you know, kids rallying around and like whatever. Yeah. And I remember like being with my teammates and stuff, and like I remember hearing somebody say yo P, like saying my name. And I remember one of my teammates, they was like, yo, Bron calling you. I was like, Bron ain't calling me like that. I'm like, he ain't calling me. And I heard it again, like, yo P. And I turned around, and it, like Bron was like, yo, like come here. And I was like, hold on, he's talking to me. Like, so that was like the first like interaction that we had, and like whatever, went up to him, dapped him up, and he was, you know, kind of just giving me like words of encouragement, like, yo, I'm gonna need you to go crazy in these, boom, boom. And like I remember going home that night, bro, and I was like, dang, like Bron know who I am, like, you know what I'm saying, like he's where he's at, but he like hasn't forgot about where he came from, and obviously he's watching, because he know my name, he knows, like, you know what I'm saying, I've been making plays, whatever. And so that was kind of like the first initial interaction. And then I remember going to like a couple Cavs games where I just kind of, I don't know how, but ended up like finding my way like backcourt or like by the locker rooms, and kind of just seeing him after the games and kind of just talking to him, having those interactions. And then when it was time to go to O State, obviously when I started making plays, you know, him messaging me, whatever, posting me, kind of that thing, like it just kind of took it to the next step. And then probably the biggest one was when it was combine time, after I ran a 40, him posting a 40, because then that was like, you know, the combine is a spectacle. Right. So anytime they see, you know, athletes post about it, like they're posting it everywhere. So once he tweeted me, you know, after I ran a 40, that was on ESPN, like all the Sports Center stuff, every news outlet, everybody, and that was kind of how the whole relationship like started like publicly.
Right.
And, you know, it's kind of, you know, I've always gotten his support, you know, throughout my career, and there's been like different media outlet people like reaching out, like they'll interview him and ask him about me, or they'll come to me and be like, oh, well, he said this, and so it's been cool, man. It's been dope to have his support through all the throughout my career, and yeah, people be like they can't believe that like some of my teammates be like, dang, you know Bron, like it's like, but it's like to me it's just Bron, like, you know what I mean, it's just, I don't know, it's just weird.
Just a kid from Akron.
Yeah, man. It's dope. No, it's dope though. It's dope. It's dope for sure.
Last question. To date, your most proudest moment?
Uh,
I actually got one more question after this, and it's going to be a hell of a question.
My most proudest moment is the day that both of my kids was born, for sure. Nothing even come close to that, for sure.
Last question, I promise.
I actually wanted to talk about it. What's Akron again, but
okay, hold on. We got to answer this. Definitely got to get this one in. If there was one guest that you want to see on the show, but you got to help get them on, who would it be?
But I have to help get them on?
You got to help get them on, though. Because at that point, it'd just be me reaching out to a random person, probably.
Man, that's a good one. I'm not gonna say Bron. I'm not gonna say that. I'm not gonna
Thought we had him.
I'm not gonna say that. Cause I don't even know what my muscle look like on that, so I ain't gonna say that. I don't know, man. I'm thinking like an Ohio State guy or something. I think it'd be dope to have Marv on here. I think it'd be dope to have Marv. Pick his brain a little bit, cause you know he got a lot going on. So
Facts.
I think it'd be dope to get Marv on here, and I can help with that for sure.
Bet. I'm gonna hold you to that one.
Say no more.
What was it? What did you want to talk about West Akron wise?
Nah, just when you was talking about like not being able to see over that hill though. Cause I always like feel like our relationship is like unique because like of how it kind of started. Like it wasn't like we went to school together or like anything like that. Like we literally just started to run track together. Like, and I still don't even necessarily know like what made you come to like West Akron.
So, and this is what my dad say. It's not what I say. So, because I was 6 or 7,
right,
so like
right.
I'm going where he take me.
Yeah.
But he said because I was with Ohio Flyers like when I first started, and he just felt that like he saw the way Coach Denise operated, Coach Denise and just West Akron in general operated in terms of being at a meet, to where it's like drop kids off, they good for the day, you know they gonna be in the blocks, they're gonna be prepared, they're gonna be all that. To where it's like when I was with Ohio Flyers, it was like my dad warming me up, like even at Nationals, like my dad warming me up, he taking me to the check-in, like doing all these different things to where it's like, so just from that, and then sometimes even when I was with, like we would still like, we ain't really know each other much, but we would still warm up together because Coach Denise was just like that. She'd be like, all right, come, you know. And so it was, I think it was just that. He saw that and he, you know, the experience that, you know, Coach Denise and like how she treated everybody else. It was just like a we just made the sacrifice.
Because it's just dope, like, obviously, like, we tell people all the time, like, we were childhood best friends, like, grew up together, whatever, but it's like, nobody really ever know the backstory. And so, like, but to me, like, I kind of always appreciated it because, like, where y'all was coming from Twinsburg to Akron. And, like, to me, it was always cool because I'm like, I didn't really have nobody at West Akron, like, before you came. I was just kind of like, it was me, like, obviously, like, Ducey and them were there, but they were all older. And, like, but there was like nobody else in my age group. Like it was literally just me. And so like when you first started coming, and like obviously like our bond like got close or whatever, it was just like as I got older, like I always had a appreciation for that because like y'all didn't have to come from Twinsburg all the way down there. And I never knew the reason, but like I was like grateful for it because I'm like, dang, like that was my best friend. Like, you know what I'm saying? So like, I don't know, I just like I tend to think about that a lot because I don't know, like, what would have happened if we, like, if it didn't, like, if you never came? Like, I would, like, who would I have been with? You know what I'm saying? So, like, because think about all the times that we kicked it, we hung out, went to meets, like, everybody kind of, like, it was Parris and
Shaun. Yeah, it was like, where's Parris and Shaun?
Like, everybody wanted to be with us. Like, everybody wanted to kick it with us. And then, like, I was like, when Jay Sean came, like,
facts.
You know what I mean? But it was like, it started with me and you, and we kind of, like, built it up. And, like, I don't know, it's just always, like, dope to think about, bro, because, you know, like that friendship, like, started, like, in a unique way. Like, and I don't know, it's just always dope.
You know, it's I've never mentioned this to you, but it was a point where I remember the whole. I don't think I remember the whole day, but I remember the race. It was at Lane Field, and this was like the first time that like I lost. It's like the first time that I lost, like before, let's just say region, like before nationals probably.
Right.
And I remember, and it was to you.
Yeah.
And I remember it, but like I don't think we ever talked about it or ever mentioned it because I think, and that's one, I thought you were gonna talk about that, but I think that's special about the relationship to where it was like.
Well, now I'm gonna talk about it because I'm gonna talk about something else after.
Yeah, but it was, I'm gonna mention it, like, but what was special about, I think, our relationship is that like, we competed every single weekend. Like, it was like, it wasn't, like, to me, it was like, oh, I gotta win. To you, it was like, oh, I gotta win. But it was like during the week, or no matter how the meet went, it was like we was gonna kick it after.
100%.
But for me, it was like routine to where it's like I win, you come in second, I win, you come in second. But then it was just that meet. It was that meet, and that happened, and like that was the first time that like I had to like. I forget how old I was, but that was like you taught me defeat for real. Yeah. And that was the first time that I had to like be the friend you were.
Right.
No, but I'm serious. That's real. But like be the friend you were, because I'm not even gonna lie to you, like after that, I don't even know if we talked like right after that race. But I know I went somewhere and was like crying, what just happened? And just that moment, I think it was either it was my mom or dad, but like they came up to me and they was like you better get right, like you better fix your face, because he, he was in that position and all that other stuff, and so I always like think back to that because we never talked about it or anything like that, and I always think back to that and I'm like, it allowed me to switch my perspective to where it's like how good of a friend you were, how good of a supporters your parents were.
Right.
Because your mom, went crazy for me. But it was like she could have just been like, nah, like screw him, he our competition, all that. And so I'm just like, so when I thought about that, or now just thinking about that, I'm like, bro, like, well, I ain't never mentioned it, but it was like that. It bothered me to a point to where it was like I had to go cry somewhere. And then I think you like your ankle or something happened. And then
before that regional. And
I was like, cause that was it. Like that, like I don't know if that was the year I won or whatever, but like that year was you.
Yeah. And I was sick. But it's crazy though, because bro, I kid you not, bro, I swear on everything I love, like the competitor I am now, I swear it's from us, bro. Like our friendship, our relationship, because like I said, like when I was at West Akron, it was just me before you came. So every meet, bro, I'm blowing people out of the water, like races ain't even close, like. And I remember the first time you come to practice, I'm like, bro, a little too close. Like, hold on, like what's going on? Like, he's a little too close. Like, I'm just so used to everybody being like far behind me, and like, bro, we 6 and 7 years old. Like, it's like you can't really like fathom and understand it. So it's like, and then we start getting into meets, and like you said, like you was first, I was second. You was first, I was second. You was first, I was second. And bro, it was like it was building the competitor that I am now. Like I swear to you, because like that, like just how it was hard for you, like the time, like the time I turned, like just like it was hard for you. Like all them meets before, like bro, it was hard because I was so used to winning all the time, and so I'm like, what is he doing differently that I'm not doing? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what is, like, we train.
We had practice together, right.
What am I doing different? Like, and just how you had to go somewhere and cry, whatever, like, bro, that was every, like, meet for me, for real. And, like, I ain't never told you that either, but, like, that was, cause, like, I was competitive, though. Like, you know what I'm saying? I was so used to winning. And, like, I had somebody else, like, granted, like, you was my brother, you was my best friend, and so, like, it was easy for me to, like, kind of just, like, no, like, that's my dog, like, because, you know, people, especially in Akron, like, people want to make, like, who was that Shaun Crawford kid? Who was that Shaun Crawford kid? Like, he always beating Paris, but it's like, but that's my dog, like, that's my homie, like, we locked in. But at the same time, the competitor in me was like, no, like, I got to do something to shift this, like, so I just remember, like, how our sequence went. It was like, when you first got there, it was like, you would always win. And then when I did beat you, it was like the next couple of meets, it was like you would win, I'll win, you would win, I'll win. And so like, but I just like that just go back to like us competing though. But I also think like since we was competing like that, bro, that's why we like our friendship is what it is now. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, it was. But that year though, that year
you had it.
I'm like, nah, like, cause yeah, the tide was turning. But two though, I remember the year where you went crazy. You won the 100 final. You won the 200 final, and then you came back and won the 400 final.
Now I won the long jump.
You did no. Remember you?
I didn't do the 400. No, I never did a 400.
Bro, you ran the 400 in lane 8.
Yeah.
Won.
Oh yeah. But that was different. Like, so I didn't win the 1 and 2 that year. I just won just the 4. But I like placed in.
But I was like, cause you know you running the finals, bro. I just remember like being up in the stands watching you run that 400, cause you know like bro we track and by that time like we was solidified in track where we kind of knew like what was tough and what was easy, like, and I just remember like Coach Denise, Coach Regina, like I was with them and they was like, yeah, Shaun gotta run the lane 8. And I was like, he gotta run the lane 8 for the 4?
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, it's about to be crazy, bro. And I just remember sitting up in the stands, bro, like that day, bro, I was your biggest fan, bro, cause I was like that's my dog, like I remember it so vividly. Like I remember the race, bro. I remember you walking out with your cornrows, I remember it so vividly, bro, because I'm like, damn, that's my dog, like. And you just won in lane 8. Like, it was just so crazy. But, nah, bro, I think it was...
That was really Coach Denise, though, because you know how sometimes after regionals, certain events, they didn't have finals for. So, like, in regionals, you wanted to place, like, you wanted to run fast enough to where it's like you get in that last heat.
Yeah.
And so I was like, I was the last one. I was like 7th, because 8th place got lane 1. And so literally for like, I think it's like 2 or 3 weeks, whatever, before nationals, and Coach Regina literally every single day at practice made me run and practice out of lane 8, bro.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So every single day, like everybody else get to do they 102 or whatever they doing, and I knew I just had to go over there and just practice out of lane 8. And then when the meet came,
it was easy.
I was just like, it wasn't easy. I was just like, bump it, like I'm gonna go.
Right.
Because what's the worst that could happen? But I was just like, and so I remember her, I just remember her telling me, she was like, if you don't see nobody, you good.
Right.
And literally, like I just ran, and then if I saw somebody out of the corner of my eye, I sped up. I just kept speeding up, and then I crossed the finish line. That was literally the first thing, and then. You know, like how dramatic I was back in the day too, though. You know, you finish a 400, you fall out. I see Coach Regina hop over the fence, come get the inhaler and everything, and she just hugged me, bro.
That joke was crazy, bro.
That was crazy.
I think that was the year we won the 4x1, and then we took the picture up in the stands.
Yeah.
We was doing the Usain Bolt, whatever. But nah, that joke was crazy. But yeah, I was like, it's crazy that we ain't never talked about that like together, because I really pride like a lot of like just who I am, just about like.
No, I think, just our relationship and just West Akron in general. Because like I said, like a lot of people don't get to compete on that stage.
Yeah, right. And we was going to the Junior Olympics, bro, competing in nationals, like, especially from Ohio, like not a
That's what I'm saying.
It was Florida, Georgia, like it was. You know
but that also helped to where it was like college came, like NFL, high school came to where it was like, bro, this is regular.
Right. For sure.
It was like I've been doing this since I was 7 or 8.
Yeah.
But bro, I feel like we could talk all day. What time is it?
Yeah. Damn.
We went 2 hours. I'm not making that 9:25 movie, huh?
We was talking for a minute.
Dang. But all right, let's close it though. I mean, it was an amazing conversation. A lot of topics. I'm definitely excited to see what you got to do this year. Just from a fan perspective, but also just from knowing what you been through, and just excited to see the work that you put in. Finally be televised. And so I'm also excited for I feel like Kai getting over to the point to where it's like it's not just like he can understand it. You know what I mean? 100%. He can understand the game. He can understand what you're doing out there, rather than just like, my dad played football, those different things. And then even yesterday, seeing you light up with your daughter, that's crazy, by the way, because it's just like, bro.
It is crazy, bro.
That's crazy.
I don't be believing they real. It's crazy, but yeah.
And so just like seeing you from that perspective, it's like, dang, I gotta grow up.
Take your time. Take your time.
But no, I appreciate you. I'm glad we was able to do this. I'm glad we made it work. Definitely one of my favorite episodes.
For sure.
I appreciate you. I appreciate from 7. I appreciate till now. I appreciate your family, Granny.
Shout out to Granny.
Yeah, shout out to Granny. Shout out to Granny. But like, nah, for sure though. Like it's just because you get to, because it's like I just feel like our parents still text, still talk, all those different things, and it's just like those are relationships that you just that are rare. Yeah. And through track and through sports, we found that, and I feel like we definitely blessed to have that. And so, anytime, any dark place, any whatever, give me a call.
Same for you.
Yeah. Facts.
Yeah, facts.
But I'm Shaun Crawford, host of Varsity podcast again, and my guest Parris Campbell, Philadelphia Eagle. Appreciate having you on, and it's up this year.
Yes, sir.
It's up.
Definitely up. I appreciate you for having me, brother. Appreciate you.
Good.
Cool.